there, this is Renuka and welcome to my channel. Today I'm showcasing MFT's Polar Bear PALS stamp set, and I'm using watercolor technique for this. So some of times I use the distress inks and then I'll use the Spectrum Aqua markers also. So I just jacket out the card base and one extra panel which is quarter and a half, I think, less than from the main panel, and I'm creating here 5.5 by 5.5 card. So I just want to match everything, that's why I'm creating the same card base with the panel. And now I'm just stamping by using mini misty here. I'm using my favorite things, hybrid black hybrid ink, because it is kind of waterproof. And then I'll stick to one wooden panel. This is just a chopping board kind of thing, and I just buy a set of them to use my watercoloring. And I just put this painter's tape on my hand or on my clothes, and then I use that. In this way it becomes a little bit less sticky. Now I'm using just a little bit of pencil marks here to make and add the lines. So here I am using the distress inks. For the gray thing I am using Hickory smoke ink, and I'll just grab little bit of acrylic block there and putting some ink there and diluting that thing. And now you can see sometimes I'm using watercolor brush, sometimes I'm using the normal brush, just depending on how I want to go with that. Just like for laying colors, I want more intense look, or depending on that. And I'm just putting little bit of color and making little bit of shadows here. This polar bear and the small cute bear, actually it's kind of story behind it. I want to make this personal card, and somehow this represent me and my baby. Yeah, that's true. And so it's like thinking of you and both of us thinking here alone, something like that. And I'm putting more and more water to color there, and where I think that it is more darkened, I just put the water and grab the tissue paper or a paper towel and just pick that color or water there, and I add the same color from both of them. Just for a baby I just go for like lighter one. I didn't add any kind of chicks here, although I like to do that, and while I'm saying this I realized that I didn't add those. But anyway, I sent this card, so there is no chance to do that again. Now I am just putting some water there, so for using wet and wet technique. And these are the Spectrum Aqua markers. These are quite intense, and they are not made for the direct use on the paper, but sometimes I use them just to create a backgrounds like this. So now you can see that the ink is bleeding here and there on the paper wherever I put the water. So for this technique you must control that where your water is, so it will get that kind of effect. Now you can see that whenever I'm adding that pen directly on the watercolor panel, it just kind of lose all the colors and it is like become little bit white. So if it happens with you, yeah, those pens are like that, so you should put the upside down them and they will work best the next time. So I'm just adding more and more colors, and there is no specific colors I'm using here. All the blues I'm using, whatever you have in aqua markers. This technique will work better with the zinc clean color markers. I don't have this, but if you have, just go ahead. You can use the direct distress ink for this technique also, by using the shades of blues and aquas. So this is a kind of very quick project I want to make, because I don't have time and I have to send this, so it's kind of very quick one, but still I thought it's nice to share with you guys, so I'm sharing it. Now where the ink is bleeding or I don't want the excess ink, you can see that I'm just grabbing the paper and putting more water there, and here I want more defined shades, like the water reflection on those snowflakes, but somehow I didn't get that thing. It's a kind of little bit same that what the Sandra Luck do with the Copic markers. I don't have Copic markers and I'm not playing much with the Spectrum Aqua markers which I have, but I really like to play with the watercolors and something like that, so I just try to do something here. And the more you put the color, the more intense look you will get with this markers. Now I'm just creating little bit of shadow over there so that it will not seem that floating in the air. And whenever you have these kind of techniques, and there is nothing right and wrong, everything looks nice. Basically it's a watercolor card, and basically it's a handmade, so it should look like a handmade. It don't have to be perfect, right? So it's okay to have mistakes there. And then I'm just blotting some water there to just make sure that everything is nice there. Then I decided to add aqua color to the scarf and red, as you see, the mama bear. And although these polar bears are like totally white, you don't have to add that much color, but I don't know, I don't like the total white thing here. I want something different, so I just add little bit of grayish color there. But you can skip that and you can just add little bit of that. Now I have these two stencils, one from Simon Says, one is snowflakes and another is the heart one. I'm planning to use both of them. So for this you can use the texture paste or the any kind of paste, glimmer paste will also do. But here I'm using the pigment ink by color box, and I'm using the sponge dauber to make a little bit of snow there. Sometimes I just want to play with something different rather than making the perfect thing. I just want to see that how things are working there, so I just fearlessly go and do the things at that time. Sometimes I don't like that effect much, but still it's okay with me. At least I have a satisfaction that I tried something different. So this time also for a background, I just give a wash of little distress color here, and I use salty ocean, I think. And after that I add little bit of the same markers, the aquas and the blues, little bit downside to make just kind of little bit of ground to it. And then I decided to add the directly colors with those hearts on that background paper. Although I use very dark color because these are quite intense, what I suggest you that you can go with the lighter color with the distress ink, and you will get the fabulous effect. If you want to go to ombre effect, you can do that here, and that will also look definitely beautiful than what I'm doing here. But although I told you before that I just want to try the new technique, so I just put my markers there and see that background how it looks. And basically I like it that little bit of smudge background, and I just put more color. I don't want something like perfect there. And there is some part I skip that. I just add Winkazilla to all the border of that panel, and I stick that to my front base here. After drying it, I normally prefer to air dry. And then this is my new technique. I love this to do. I never see someone doing like this, but I really love to do that adding some hearts and bubbles with that Winkazilla pen. So when you tilt your card or when it catches light, it will have that shiny hearts on the card. I hope you enjoyed this quick and simple project today. If you like it, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button, like it, say something in a comment what you want to say. And you can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest and Instagram. And until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Bye bye.